The house didn't feel real. It looked normal from the outside, just another quiet rental tucked deep in the woods of Maine. But the moment you stepped inside, something felt wrong. The layout didn't make sense. Hallways twisted where they shouldn't. Doors opened into unexpected places. Rooms felt like they had been added as an afterthought, or hidden on purpose. I was just a teenager, trying to enjoy a quiet getaway with my family. But even on the first night, I couldn't shake the feeling that the house was watching me. The owner, Hugh, made it worse. He greeted us with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He walked us through the house slowly, almost too slowly, pointing out things we hadn't even asked about. Security cameras, locks, hidden storage spaces. At one point, he stopped mid-sentence and just stared at me, like he was trying to decide something. I laughed it off at the time, told myself I was overthinking. I wasn't. The next day, my family decided to go on a hike. I didn't feel like going, so I stayed behind, alone. At first, it was peaceful, too peaceful. No cars, no neighbors, just the faint sound of wind brushing through the trees outside. I tried watching TV, but the signal kept cutting out. Static flickered across the screen, like something was interfering. Then I heard it, a soft sound, somewhere inside the house. I froze. It wasn't loud, just a faint shift, like a floorboard settling, or footsteps being carefully placed. I told myself it was the house. Old buildings make noise, right? But then it happened again, closer this time. I muted the TV. Silence filled the room, and in that silence, I could hear it clearly. Breathing, not mine. Slow, controlled, deliberate, coming from somewhere deeper in the house. My heart started pounding so hard it felt like it would give me away. I stood up slowly, trying not to make a sound. Every instinct screamed at me to leave, but my legs wouldn't move. Instead, I listened. Another step, a faint creak. Whoever, or whatever was in the house, was moving. I grabbed my phone and backed toward the front door, keeping my eyes locked on the hallway. It stretched out in front of me, darker than I remembered, like the light couldn't quite reach the end. For a second, I thought I saw something, a shadow, too tall, too still, watching me. I didn't wait. I ran outside, slamming the door behind me, my hands shaking so badly I could barely dial my parents. I stayed on the porch, refusing to go back in, scanning every window, every corner, expecting to see a face staring back. When my family returned, I tried to explain. They exchanged looks, the kind adults give when they think you're imagining things. But then Hugh called. His voice was different this time, urgent, sharp. He told us not to go back inside, not under any circumstances. There had been movement on his security cameras, someone inside the house, not us, someone who had been there. The entire time. My stomach dropped. Hugh said he'd seen the figure moving through the hallways, stopping near the room I had been in, standing just outside, for minutes at a time, watching, waiting. The police were called, but by the time anyone arrived, the house was empty. No broken locks, no forced entry, just silence, like nothing had ever been there. We left that night. No one argued, no one even packed properly. We just grabbed what we could and drove. I kept thinking about that shadow in the hallway. How still it had been, how close. And the worst part? They never found anyone. No suspect, no explanation. Just a maze-like house in the woods, and the feeling that for a while, I hadn't been alone in it. We were supposed to remember that night as just another vacation memory. A warm evening in West Palm Beach. Soft air, distant traffic, palm trees whispering like they knew something we didn't. It started simple. Just three of us, me and my two cousins. We were bored, and boredom has a way of leading you somewhere you should never go. It was a little past 10:30 p.m. when we left the house. No plan, no destination, just walking, talking, laughing. At first, everything felt normal. Streetlights flickering, crickets chirping, that quiet, late-night calm that makes you feel like the world belongs to you. But then, he stopped. My cousin. He didn't say anything at first. He just stood there, staring off into the distance. "Do you hear that?" he whispered. We listened. Nothing. Just silence. We laughed it off, told him he was being weird. But then, he started walking. Not toward the road, not back toward the house, but toward the trees. There was a swampy area just beyond the neighborhood. Dense, dark, untouched. The kind of place locals tell you to stay away from, especially at night. We called out to him. "Yo, where are you going?" No answer. He just kept moving, like something was pulling him in. And that's when the feeling hit. That quiet, creeping discomfort. The kind that settles in your chest before your mind understands why. We followed him. At first, joking. then slower, then silent. The deeper we went, the darker it got. The streetlights disappeared behind us. Now it was just shadows, and the faint outline of trees stretching in every direction. The ground turned soft, muddy. Each step made a quiet sucking sound, like the earth didn't want to let go. And then we heard it. A scream. It wasn't human. At least, it didn't sound human. It was too long, too distorted, too wrong. Like something trying to imitate a voice, but failing. We froze. Every instinct screamed at us to run, but we didn't. Not yet. Because then, it came again. Closer. Louder. And this time, it almost sounded like words, but not words you could understand. Just broken, desperate, twisted noise. My cousin finally stopped walking. Slowly, he turned around, and I swear, I've never seen his face look like that before. Not fear, something worse, like you knew something we didn't. "Did you hear that?" he said, barely above a whisper. We nodded, and that's when it changed. The silence disappeared. The swamp came alive, branches cracking, water shifting, something moving, just out of sight, circling, watching, waiting. Then, a third scream, right behind us. We didn't look back. We ran. No talking, no thinking, just pure instinct. Feet slipping in the mud, branches hitting our faces, hearts pounding so loud it drowned everything else out. But even while running, we could still hear it, following us. Not fast, not chasing, just there. We didn't stop until we reached the road, back under the streetlights, back where things felt normal. But nothing felt normal anymore. We stood there, trying to catch our breath. No one spoke, because none of us wanted to say what we were all thinking. We went back home, locked the doors, stayed up all night. Every sound felt louder, every shadow felt wrong, and no matter how hard we tried, we couldn't explain what we heard. Morning came, and with it, curiosity, or maybe stupidity, because we went back. It was around noon, bright sunlight, clear sky, the kind of day that makes everything feel safe again. We told ourselves it would look different, that we'd laugh about it, that it was just some animal or our imagination. But the moment we reached the edge of the swamp, that feeling came back, stronger, heavier, like we weren't supposed to be there. We followed the same path, the same muddy ground, the same broken branches, except now we noticed things we didn't see before. Footprints, not ours, too deep, too uneven, like someone had been running or dragged. And then we found it. A torn denim jacket, half buried in the mud, wet, heavy, stained, like it had been there all night. We didn't touch it, didn't go closer, didn't say a word, because deep down, we already knew. Something happened there, something real, something we weren't supposed to hear. We looked at each other, and without saying anything, we made the same decision. We left, and we never told anyone. But sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I still hear it. That sound, that scream. Not human, not animal, something in between. And the worst part? It didn't sound like it was calling for help. It sounded like it was calling for us.